the students of Ramsey Grammar School between now and 1 o'clock on the Mannin line. First of all, let's go to Elliot. Elliot, you were telling me you play Call of Duty, is it?
Yes. Yeah.
How much do you play Call of Duty?
Well, on school nights I do about 2 hours, and that's after I've done homework. So yeah, I'm trying to make sure that it's not getting in the way. But at the weekend I do a bit more.
For people who don't understand computer games, it's a lot of fun, isn't it?
Oh yeah. It's very fun. It's satisfying if you can manage to hone your skills in. And be better than everyone else.
How long have you been playing computer games?
I'm actually quite new. I started about a year ago.
Just a year ago?
Yeah, a year ago.
And what got you into it?
My friends, actually. They were talking about what they were doing, and I thought it sounded quite fun.
Okay, what machine do you use?
I use an Xbox at the minute. I'm thinking of getting a PC, though, next. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
How much does Call of Duty cost?
Well, the new one was 60 quid. So it's quite expensive, but it just depends if you think it's worth it or not.
Do you watch much television at all?
Not really. Only like in the evenings with parents, but I don't choose what to watch. So
Yeah. So would you say that computer games replaces television, or what did you?
Not quite. I'd say probably. I watch more stuff on the internet rather than TV.
What sort of stuff on the web? YouTube or?
Yeah, YouTube. Like just general stuff that interests me. We've watched the Social Dilemma in school recently. So, and I've started to realise that the stuff that YouTube's feeding to me is actually like they're suggesting that I should watch something. And it's like, wait, so why am I actually watching this? It's quite interesting, really, now thinking about the kind of things it's showing me.
Are you planning to go to university?
Yes, yeah.
Do you know where?
Not yet, no.
What will you be studying, do you know?
Something to do with geography. I'm doing, for A-level, I'm doing Spanish, geography and biology. So I think something to do with geography, I think, because that really interests me.
How was the summer for you?
It was quite boring. Just lots of staying inside, doing a bit of schoolwork. But yeah, no, not much going outside.
Okay, Iron's next to you as well. Your dad had COVID, is that right?
Oh yeah, my dad had COVID in the summertime. He works in the cottage hospital, so he was probably, it was easier for him to get it. But he was asymptomatic. He was even on the spin bike in the garden and exercising like normal, doing his CrossFit stuff as well. So that was quite good.
Did he have any symptoms at all?
Nothing at all.
He was just tested positive?
Yeah.
Okay, and the rest of the family fine?
Yeah, we were fine actually. The public health line, they kept calling asking if me, my brother and my mum were okay every single day, but no one asked about my dad, which was quite odd, because he was the one that had COVID.
Right, what are you hoping to do? Are you going to university?
Yeah, I plan to go to uni. I'm not sure which uni just yet, but maybe in the world of criminology or forensics, or maybe psychology as well. So,
Why crime?
I don't know, there's just something that interests me, just knowing how the mind of a criminal works, what pushes them to do these certain things, what is the motive behind their actions. I just find it interesting.
Sam's with us as well. Sam, it's not been long now that when we were at Castle Rushen, it was the day after the US presidential election, and he still hasn't conceded, has he?
No, he hasn't, not yet. I mean, he's got close, but he's not there yet.
What do you make of all this?
I think it's an absolute sham. I think he needs to give up the act. I know I've had many heated conversations about this. I know my granddad will be listening. Perhaps we disagree, but I just can't agree with anything that man says, Donald Trump.
Why?
I think he's outdated. I think he's very out of touch with people. The social divide he's caused in that country is scary. It's close on civil war. And what he's done, the mess up with COVID and the race relations, I just think he needs to, the quicker he's out of office, the better.
Why do you think it is that half of the country, or a significant part of the United States, seems to follow Donald Trump? They seem to be supporting him. Why do you think that is? What's he tapped into?
This is a generation where we're all on the internet, and I think there's no surprise in the fact that he's ruling via Twitter. And I think a lot of people will take what he says as gospel. What he says is fact, and the scary thing is he goes on about fake news, and his supporters will just believe anything he says over anyone credible, and I think that's why he's got such a big following still.
So presumably, I mean, in the new year, there's got to be the new president has to take office. What do you think is going to happen? Do you think Donald Trump will actually show up and hand over?
No. I think he'll be dragged out of the White House kicking and screaming, to be honest, but it won't be him in there as of January, so...
Freya's with us as well. Freya, you were with us last time, weren't you?
I was.
Okay, and you are, what's your official position in the school now?
I am a head student along with Sam.
Okay. Now, last time we were talking about your police career.
Yes.
So how's that going?
So, well, it's not essentially a police career. I was in the Isle of Man Police Youth Scheme, which is a group of cadets essentially, and we would learn about what the police did when we go out and essentially do what the police do in a sort of dulled down kind of way, that it was a lot safer for us. So just an example is the new cadet group are going out tonight to police the Christmas shopping as that goes on, because I think it's the Christmas lights switch on tonight, so they're all going to that, and I'm going along to accompany them as a leader now as opposed to a cadet.
What do they get out of it?
Oh, so much. So it's just personal skills really, like leadership, communication, just being able to talk to people and interact with people in a very different way to maybe what a lot of other teenagers are. And I think it really sheds a better light on the younger generation, because I know there's a lot of stigma about how we act and all that. So it's really good to see.
How do they cope with negative feedback? How do police cadets cope with people who don't take to them?
Well, I can't say that I've actually received very much negative feedback about it. I think the majority of people that we've spoken to and explained what we do have just thought it's absolutely amazing for young people to get involved and see what goes on behind the scenes.
Lily's with us as well. Lily, how was summertime at Ramsey Grammar School for you, or not?
Do you mean the summer term or do you mean the summer holidays?
Time, exams, academic work. How did you cope?
Well, for me, my math exams were cancelled, and that caused a lot of stress, as in what's going to happen next year and the possibilities of university even going through. So I think over summer there was that constant stress of what's going to happen at school because it hadn't been sorted out yet. But apart from that, it was nice to be able to actually get out of the house and spend time with people, I think.
How did you cope when they said there are no exams? You've been building up to exams. How did you, in what way was it stressy?
Well, your entire academic career is kind of, you've been told your entire life that your success is based upon your academic success. So when you're told you're not going to be tested and the reality is it's just you against the university, kind of everything that you've ever done in your life, not academically, it kind of is daunting in that way that you feel as though you kind of wasted some part just focusing on academia.
Was it all explained to you?
Slightly. I would say they did the best that they could. The resources that the school was given, they told us everything that they possibly could in that way. Obviously, researching the internet, WJC boards, whatever, that kind of thing. They told us what they could, but they, in a sense, didn't know themselves what was happening.
Which university are you going to go to?
I'm looking at Sheffield, York and Lancaster. They're my top three.
To read what?
Oh, to do biology.
Okay. How do you think the Isle of Man's handled the COVID situation?
In comparison to the UK, really well. I do think that they were quick in their response at the very start, and throughout, obviously, regular checkups, they were really good, Howard time and everything. I do think at the moment, they could have been slightly quicker in the house rule, as in when students come back that the whole house has to isolate. But apart from that, I do think they've been really good in their approach.
Amber, how do you think the Isle of Man's handled COVID?
I think it's actually been quite successful. I think at the beginning though, I think I would have closed the borders a little bit earlier just to stop some more COVID coming over. But all in all, I think they have done a very good job.
When you watch TV or you look at how it's taking hold in Britain and in the rest of Europe, do you think that the rules that we have in place are the right rules?
Yes, I do.
Keeping people. What do you think about when people got sent to jail?
It's one of them. I think honestly, it's for the better of the people. It's all to keep people safe. I think definitely, and I do understand jail is maybe a tiny little bit extreme, but I do see if you don't follow the rules, it is going to affect people. I know I have family members who in my house who are very vulnerable people, and I know that if I caught COVID, I just don't want it to hurt any more people.
Jack's with us as well. Are you going to university, Jack?
I hope so, yeah. I would like to study medicine because my mum's a doctor. And I'm thinking about maybe Manchester because I support United as well. So.
What do you think of VAR, by the way?
Recently, I quite like it because it's been very controversial against Liverpool and their fans getting very annoyed, which is always good. So,
do you think Ollie's going to last?
I think the board need to go before Ollie, like Ed Woodward, the Glazers. I think they're ruining it. But,
You mean the ones with the money?
Yeah, well, United are spending money, I get that, but we need a director of football so we don't make stupid signings. But I think Ollie will go and get Pochettino.
Pochettino?
Yeah.
Wow. So do you think, I mean, obviously you've got family, you've got medical people in the family. How do you think the island's handled COVID?
I think
Because they must have been living and breathing it in your house.
Yeah, I think initially we handled it very well going into lockdown because we didn't know the extent of how bad COVID would be. But I think it's a controversial opinion, but I think if COVID does come back, we can't isolate or lock down for too long because I think it will ruin the economy, and for non-vulnerable people it has a very low mortality rate. So I think the vulnerable people should shield, but the rest of the people should do what they want.
Socially, what do you think? How do you think we've handled? I mean, obviously, lots of people. There are some people who completely deny it. There are some people when the vaccine's on the horizon. Some people are anti-vaccine as well. There are some people who don't quite accept it. How do you feel about that?
I think those people are stupid, to be honest, because there's scientific evidence that says COVID is real, and I just can't see their point of view.
Adam's with us as well. Computer games, Adam?
Yeah, computer games.
What do you play?
A lot of Overwatch recently, because I think computer games are really good at bringing people together, and especially, like you've been talking about COVID, especially when COVID was a thing and lockdown was enforced, you couldn't really have a social life. So unless you're messaging friends on different social media platforms, computer games is an excellent way to play with people. So to me, that kind of helped.
And what machine do you use?
An Xbox.
Okay. And you obviously play. Do you play around the world or just with friends?
Both. Yeah. Well, I'm not in any competitions or anything, but when you're playing video games, you're bound to play with people around the world, definitely.
How long have you been playing them?
Years. I think I've got introduced when I was about 13, but in different households rather than mine.
And again, there are some people who say that computer games are the root of all evil.
I disagree.
I mean, they've said that about everything. They've said that about cinema. They said it about television. They said it about rap music. They've said it about everything. It's just a way of interacting as well. Apart from, what was your favourite one at the moment?
Overwatch.
What else? Anything else?
Yeah, a majority of things really. Call of Duty, GTA.
GTA.
Yeah, I was going to say something.
It was the hottest thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's definitely popular.
So, university next year, have you got any plans?
Yeah, like Lily said, Sheffield seems really good for me because I want to do archaeology, and I've heard from different people that have been to Sheffield that that's a really good opportunity for them.